Well, obviously not too many people, but still, as practice shows, they're going to show up in 5 or 10 minutes. So anyway, we're going to start, and today's lecture is Introduction to Digital Tourism in Green Transformation in Green Tourism. So we'll start with a short video, just to attach to the imagination what practices can we use to implement in Ukraine, and also the what practices we're going to talk about exactly in tourism. So let's just...
Elige tu seguro de salud con Mafre, la telemedicina más avanzada, estés donde estés.
Since the turn of the century, technology has rapidly improved. Our reality is now filled with things that were mere dreams in the past few decades. Seeing how the past has unfolded, I was curious about what the next 30 years would look like. So I did a little digging into what life might look like in 2050 for us. Let's take a look. Nanotechnology. First, let's take a look at nanotechnology. Over the years, scientists have made exciting developments and discovered numerous innovative applications for nanotechnology. As it stands, nanotechnology has the potential to change life as we know it. Experts in the field believe that nanobots will, in the future, be fitted into our brains to connect us to the virtual world more readily and faster. With the use of brain-computer interface technology, the mind and computer will be one, making humans very powerful beings with access to endless information and solutions to problems that the mind wouldn't be able to solve. If nanotechnology reaches that stage, there may be no need for gadgets like phones and calculators. Well, this is very exciting for the student of the future. Looks like math will not be a universal challenge much longer. 3D print technology. The next tech advancement that we can expect in the future is the rise of 3D print technology. 3D print technology is already advanced, but we can expect it to be even more advanced in 2050. Right now, we have 3D printed tools and homes. In the future, we will be able to print more tools and perhaps even some modes of transportation if bigger machines are built. This technology will also become more accessible to everyone who may want a 3D printer, making the possibilities of what can be printed infinite. If the current trend of open source 3D printable files continues, it will not be long before everyone prints their own large objects like furniture and weapons. Well, here's an idea. How about developing an affordable 3D printer for food? That could be the end of world hunger, despite global warming. Medical. Now we go from the extinction of phones to the eradication of death. Well, by 2050, the finality of death may be a thing of the past. With the brain connected to a computer through BCI technology, the information stored in our brains can be transferred into a hard disk like computer files. That means the data, including memories, can be retrieved and uploaded into another being, maybe a more advanced humanoid robot. This way, the best minds in every field will be preserved and able to continue working on innovations. Another improvement to consider in the medical field is that serious diseases like cancer will be cured. The only downside to this development is that every new technology is very expensive when it first comes out, so the rest of us may not have access to this literally life-saving technology for a while. Transportation. Something that we may have access to is transportation. In 2050, transportation will have immensely changed. With experimentation focused on self-driving cars already underway from car manufacturers such as Tesla, it is not much of a stretch to believe that by 2050, the technology for fully automated vehicles will exist. Some notable advantages of such automated vehicles include a drastic reduction in traffic-related deaths because the vehicles will collaborate with traffic control systems. Another advantage is the change in lifestyle that self-driving vehicles will bring. With no need to man a vehicle, people will be free to choose whether to relax or be more productive as they travel. A lot of free time, considering the amount of time spent in traffic. Another interesting development is the Hyperloop One project by Elon, which aims to move the bulk of public transportation underground. With the use of electromagnetic levitation at historic speeds of 310 kilometers per hour, this train presents the opportunity for a faster, cheaper, and cleaner mode of transportation. And if more people opt for it, then there will be even fewer traffic-related incidents. Fuel. Still on transportation, the fuel used in all future transportation modes will be renewable energy. Currently, the world is plagued by global warming and the threat of depleting natural resources, so we do need to be looking at adapting to a more sustainable source of energy. Now, Hyperloop One is exploring electromagnetic levitation, and the automobile industry has also been looking for ways to reduce harmful vehicle emissions. These are all efforts aimed at achieving the goal of stopping the use of carbon-emitting fuels. Besides those, research is being done on the ocean's wind, solar, and thermal energy. One company in particular, BlueRise, a specialist developer of ocean thermal energy conversion, is working on a project that could completely phase out the use of fossil fuels. Hopefully, BlueRise and their colleagues will be successful soon enough to alleviate some of the environmental problems we face. Space exploration. Now, if there is one thing that has been mentioned as a mitigating option for our current environmental challenges, it's space exploration and colonization. Companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are set on revolutionizing space technology, with goals of spatial exploration and ultimately enabling people to live on other planets in colonies. With all the strides already made, by 2050, space tourism will also be a reality for those who can afford it. The possibilities for holiday destinations will expand to include places like Mars and the Moon. Unfortunately, a trip to orbit will be significantly expensive, making it exclusive for the extremely wealthy, at least at first. Artificial intelligence. Something that may be available for everyone is artificial intelligence. Already more advanced than most of the innovations mentioned here, the development of artificial intelligence will only get better through the years. Experts in the field believe that AI will surpass the processing power of living brains. That wouldn't be scary if it didn't open the door to the robopocalypse. Luckily, scientists still have to figure out how to impart all the important human values into an AI before it can become a part of our everyday life. But the rise of AI will, of course, change the face of the workforce. Not only that, but the job market will also face radical change, and with the way things are going, about half of the world's current jobs will be extinct, taken over by AI machines and robots. In 2050, the world will be more interconnected and even more driven by data than it is now. Some of us will definitely need to consider a career change. Education. As the job market changes, education will also see some significant changes. Already there has been an increase in digital learning, especially during the pandemic. By 2050, completely digital schools will be commonplace. Even if we have physically attended schools, they will have no need for books, using tablets and laptops instead. For higher education, experts believe that more than 70% of the student population will be enrolled in online degrees, making education more globalized. A rather welcome step in the right direction if we are to make good education accessible to all, I believe. Online degrees may even be taught by AI-powered robots. At that time, I imagine the robots will be able to prepare course material, give lectures, and mark assignments. Sadly, you may be unable to twist your lecturer's arm, so they give you a deadline extension. The metaverse. Now we move on to the metaverse. Since Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced it, virtual reality and AI have been assimilated into our everyday life through the social media giant. For those who may be a bit confused about the metaverse, you're not alone, and you've come to the right place. The metaverse is a virtual reality computer-generated environment in which you can interact with other users through AI-enabled software. So it's about simulation, with avatars representing users. As metaverse functions get more developed, by 2050 it will be able to offer a full virtual experience that includes shopping to travel right from the comfort of your own home. People will have the option to share their virtual experiences with the world. Imagine taking a trip to your favorite holiday destination with your family, only you're not physically there. That's what the metaverse will offer. It seems to me like the more we get connected, the more we stay apart. Money. Next is money. Even though we will still use money, one thing that has been used less and less over the years is cash. Keeping up with that trend, cash will most likely no longer be used in 2050. All transactions will be done virtually, and new modes of financial transactions will emerge because of AI and decentralized finance. As the world slowly starts to adopt those technologies, we may not even have to do our own grocery shopping anymore, making traditional paper and plastic money even less useful. Like Tesla, which orders its own car parts as needed, our automated pantries and refrigerators may order our groceries. No more getting the wrong milk, or even running out of milk. Real estate. Speaking of the automation of home appliances, the homes in 2050 will also be completely automated smart homes. Although smart homes already exist, the developments that will be available in the next few decades will be a great improvement to what we have now. Smart homes in 2050 will have full AI activation functions, allowing the home to sense our moods and requirements without giving it a single command. Additionally, interactive hologram televisions will exist, meaning that you can verbally call up your hologram TV and it will appear right in front of you. The best part? You will never have to look for the remote again, because you can control the TV with your mind using nanotechnology, as discussed at the beginning of the video. So with that, we have come full circle in this video of exploring what our lives will look like in 2050. To be honest, this is just an exercise of imagination, and I realize that not everything discussed in this video will come true. However, you'd have to agree that none of this is too far-fetched either, as humanity has already planted the roots of many of these technologies. Anyways, one thing is for certain with how technology is progressing. I have no doubt that the world will be very different by 2050, but I do hope that our current societal systems and structures will be able to cope with these coming innovations. So, what do you think of these future innovations? Do you think this is what life will look like in 2050? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe.
All right. Oh, very glad to see more people. We just finished a bit of doing imagination exercise, and that's actually leads us to the introduction to digital transformation in green tourism. So already in the previous lectures, we learned that digital transformation is a process of incorporating digital technologies and innovations to bring about changes and improve in industry in the context of green tourism. Also, digital transformation can signify the utilization of digital tools and enhance to sustainability and quality of tourism services. Also, we learned that green tourism, the green tourism is approach to tourism aimed at conserving nature and supporting sustainable development. So green tourism is viewed for perspective of ecological responsibilities to minimize the negative impact on the natural environment. So green tourism, also known as ecotourism or sustainable tourism, yeah, we talk about this on previous lectures, is a travel approach to focus on minimizing negative impact on tourism on the natural sources. So, and also we learned that sustainability is tourism pertains to the ability of the tourism industry to meet present needs while segregating the resources and conditions that will allow future generation to meet their needs as well. So in the contents of green tourism, sustainability and eco-friendly parties are supporting local economies, right? And it brings us to the importance of digital transformation for sustainable tourism. Digital transformation plays a pivotal role for ensuring the sustainable development of green tourism. And here are some aspects that highlight the significance. The first one is enhance efficiency. What does it mean? This is the utilizing the digital technologies that helps optimize businesses, processes in tourism. So make them basically more effective, reducing cost and improving efficiency. Electronic booking system, right? Online platforms for organizing tours and other tours provide faster and more convenient access to service for tourists. I did ask you, and I did text you in a mail to think about what do you think would be great to use, like what tools or maybe some practices that you know would be great to use in tourism and sustainability. And we're going to stop right now on each part that I prepared for you. And I actually want, if you want, you can share some ideas. If not, it's also okay. So the second one is a reduced environmental impact. Digital solution can aid in implementing practices aimed at minimizing the negative impact of tourism on natural environment, and also electronic tickets, for example. Yeah, so to reduce the environmental impact, what we can do, we can create electronic tickets, vouchers that decrease paper usage, and use of drones can monitor the conditions of natural reserves. So who knows some other examples that we can reduce the negative environmental impact? It could be anything. So for example, we can the negative impact, we can less use the planes, yeah, because the CO2 actually producing CO2 by the planes are negatively impact our environment. If you want, якщо ви хочете все ж таки увійти в розмову, ви можете відповідати українською, якщо вам так простіше, можливо, буду тільки рада. Але, будь ласка, якщо у вас є дійсно коментарі, ідеї, так, як ми можемо зменшити негативний вплив на природу, за яким чином, так? Ось ми вже сказали. Decrease paper usage, decrease plastic usage, maybe. Any other ideas? No? Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one is improved service quality. So basically, we from interactive tourism app to virtual tours. This is examples. As for me personally, I really don't like virtual tools. I also am not the fan of Metasphere that is getting very highly on the market, and quite a lot of people quite intensely interested in it and investing also in it. And there is if you go to Metaverse, if we're talking about fashion, for example, the people are actually creating a clothes there, and they are buying and they are selling. So you can find Gucci, Prada in Metaverse at the same amount of money, which is huge money, like a 20,000 for, I say, picture. But yeah, there is a people who buying that, and there is a huge market that will be created. And this is also one of a way to improve service quality, maybe in games. Yeah, the games could be truly and fully customized. Could be anything that related to social media. For example, in social media, they are planning to sell the Gucci or whatever other brand a clothes through online, like the filters in Instagram that we have, and by that they are going automatically with artificial intelligence, actually creating the picture for you, just because you paid for it. But still, this is somewhere, it leads somewhere. Why? This is a question totally not for me, but this is one of the way how the service quality could be improved, depend on what service they are selling. So also digital solutions can elevate the quality and satisfaction level of tourism. So today we're mostly going to talk about tourism. So how do you think? Will digital solution can elevate the quality? Will it help for tourism or not? Okay, take it as a yes. All right, so So yes, the digital, it will elevate the quality, because can save you time, save you money, make better analysis. Where do you want to go? Save your time and analyzing again and preparing. Make the comparison on different companies or different countries, or maybe based on what is it, summer or autumn, what prices are in which season are higher. So again, coming back to the saving money, is if that benefits a customer, that benefits the business. That's mean that it's actually improves a service quality. They can access more information and personalized services, enhancing their overall experiences. So information and personalized services, again, this is the same thing what I just said. And on the next lesson, by the way, we're going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, if anyone knows. Maybe someone did use it already, and that would be great to know. So on the next class, I will tell you the GPT, they end up now these days, like I think a few weeks ago, they show the progress, what they've made, and what regular people like we are can use the artificial now. Also, this is a great perspective for businesses or any analytical stuff. You can create your GPT chat box that will solve your solution. It could be involved with many people or businesses or whatever, how you're going to teach it. And then, I mean, there's mass that you can create with artificial intelligence. So basically, personalized services, this is the first one, what I see when we're talking about the tourism. Because if we have personalized services, for example, implemented in Ukraine, that will be connected to mass of businesses in Ukraine, it will make easier to work for businesses, and also it will make more sufficient for customer. So then it's all leads us to the importance of digital transformation for sustainable green tourism. And let's talk about reach of effectiveness of digital transformation and green tourism. So researchers have found that digital transformation can significantly enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of green tourism. For instance, the application of analytical tools to the data collection on tourism preferences. Well, this is not a secret. Everyone, for many years, your social medias, your Google, they analyzing you every day, and any app that you download, they ask your permission to provide them data. But in these days, even also, if you're the business, collecting data digitally, this is necessary. If you don't have data, you basically cannot run the business. You don't know who your customers, because customers are very quite difficult. I mean, it's difficult to find or identify your customers, even if you have data on paper, right? So, for instance, the application, analytical tools, the collection of data on tourist preferences, facilitating the development of appropriate service package. So what also come back to the great improving the service. So potential of digital solution in addressing environmental changes. If we're gonna lead to that, digital solution offer a wide range of opportunities for tracking environmental issues in the tourism industry, from implementing smart technologies in hotels for energy sufficient usage to developing applications that promote eco-friendly roads. Digital solutions can contribute to the sustainable development of tourism. So here we can actually see how we can, basically the road, how just a regular business can be sustainable and also digital. So basically, if you're the tour agency or a bus agency, you can create an application that will, or maybe to collaborate with other applications that actually will show that your company eco-friendly, that your company is sustainable, that your company may be the same as other companies, but they provide an information how much CO2 produced while the trip that the customer is taking. And then if every company going to have that information, then as a customer, you can see, okay, this company produced only 2,000, or I don't know, let's say 2,000 CO2, and this company provide only 1,000. So this company has a smaller impact, bad impact on environment, and I'm gonna work with that company. And in the future, as soon as future, I mean that we live in now, right now, and with artificial intelligence, the future comes with days, not even months. So it's very necessary to have a hand on a pulse. So in the future, the competition between those companies will be high, but it will be very easy if you are actually following the environmental, addressing the environmental challenges. All right, so this is also leads us to the advantages, challenges of digital transformation. So advantages and opportunities. What are the advantages? Digital experiences. So digital transformation enable the creation of tailored experiences for tourism through the data analysis. Preference behaviors can be tracked, allowed business to offer customized service that align with eco-friendly practices. Again, I just mentioned that, and I quite, leading there, that the businesses already have to start doing that. Like they have to find a way how to satisfy their customers by using technology and eco-friendly practices. So, yeah, there's a lot of ways how you can create your application. You can be eco-friendly. You can count your impact on environment. You can use eco-friendly product. You can so also behaviors. Yeah, you can analyze your customers, or you can even though create a personal chat for each customer that going to when they're applying to the company, they're going to analyze, and that data will be collected. So each time the customer come back to your company, the data will be bigger, and then the chat will provide the service that you have that most will be the best fit for that client. What it leads to the 90% of percentage that sale will be done. Means your products, your services will be quite efficient, and you're going to lose more or less than you're going to lose less, and also you don't need an advertisement, because the advertisement will basically already will be developed in your application or website. So also global reach. Online platforms provide an opportunity to reach a wider audience, attracting tourist interest in green and sustainable travel from all over the world. So yes, we have those big companies and those giants like Airbnb, They also have Airbnb experiences and TripAdvisor. There's I forgot what is that? Kayak, and I think that Kayak, and there is more. There is more, but these ones are quite giants. Yes, those giants take more percentage to collaborate with them, but also they provide a better, more clients. So, but what they do, they are actually using the local strategy. So basically, they are connecting with the local people, local businesses that provide services, and those services advertised on their platform, and then the customers go there. So it says to us that good practice, think global but do local, and this practice will actually very good support Ukraine if we work locally and create those local communities that will provide a great service. It will possibly spread faster than we think. We don't, than we think. So let's go to the, oh, actually, I didn't mention also environmental conservation. So the conservation, so environmental conservation, it's a digital solution that can contribute to nature conservation by promoting responsible tourism. App can educate tourists and protect areas, endangered species, eco-friendly practices, enhancing their awareness. That's mean that what kind of practices do we know? This is mean that, for example, if you want to go, for example, in Spain, to go to forest, you have to have a permission. And to get the permission, you have to go to the Ayuntamiento, which is the Maria, the Державна служба. So as soon as you go there, you receive paper, then you can go and camp, for example. This is not a practice in Ukraine, but this is a good practice to avoid fires of forests. In Spain, there's a hot, so fires are more often happening. So they are trying to protect their environment by not allowing people go there anytime they want. And if they do go, please provide that information to the government. And this is a good practice. Also, it could be included to anything. If this is a natural sources, those natural sources are protected. And by going there, you don't necessarily need a guide. You can have your own guide in your application by walking through the map that it shows in your hand. You can have all the information and read or listen about all of the species that are living there, or nature plants that are growing there. So what other examples do I know? So education, protected areas, eco-friendly. Okay, well, if anyone knows anything else, also please participate. You can hand your hand and add one of the ideas that you know. So efficient resource management. It's technologies like smart energy systems in accommodation, waste reduction strategies, water saving initiatives can be integrated with the digital tools for more effective sources management. Well, this is one of the very important resource management. It briefly attached to the tourism. But again, for example, in Spain, I know that because there is a hot weather, they have water sink. It's not a sink. They have free water almost everywhere around the cities. and that water actually filtered and also efficient with the resource management. Okay, so what else? Possible challenges and obstacles. So what challenges we can see here? Digital divide. All destinations might have equal access to the technology. And that's true. It's also true for Ukraine. If we talk on a perspective and infrastructure of Ukraine, there is a lot of beautiful places, but there are lack of technology. And as I mentioned in the previous lectures, there is a goal for Ukrainian digital strategy to provide an access of the internet through the whole of the country or the maximum places. But yes, the lack of technology stops us from the progress. So ensuring equitable access to digital resource is crucial to prevent leaving certain regions behind in the transformational process. It's also, if we're talking about fields, it's not related to tourism, but if we're talking about fields, how to grow fields, how to water fields, how to protect from the bugs, how to taking care of the field, even without the human help. Just sending drones there that are taking the ground and checking all of the resources, what vitamins needed to the field, to the fuel, to the ground, what vitamins needed, the ground needed, and everything can be done automatically. And it's already using it, but lack of technology and also the high price stops us from that. Privacy and concerns. Exactly. Opportunity to have artificial intelligence, it's cool. And as you know, I hope you know, I don't know if you know anything about artificial intelligence, but when the GPT chat just launched, and a lot of people start asking it different questions that are actually going against the privacy. For example, how to hack, I don't know, the neighbor house system, the home system, and artificial intelligence not going to tell that. But that now they change it. But before, the hackers, they start asking the question, when my grandma was telling me that it was possible, and these, and then artificial start rethinking the strategy, and they provided an answer. So the privacy concern, when your company or another company, or I don't know, the governmental company keep the data, and that data is not really good protected, this is one of the very risky, that because these data could be taken by anyone. So if you're thinking or you think to collecting data, or make sure that you work with those providers who keeping the data safe, and your customer will be never get to the risk, because the privacy is a gathering and using personal data for tailoring services, raised concern about data privacy and security. Striking a balance between customization, safeguarding, and privacy is essential. And also the other challenge or obstacle, it's a training and adoption. Well, it is what it is, but we have to train ourselves and our technologies that we're using, and also our businesses, and also our people who works with us, because it changes quite fast. Not all stakeholders may be familiar with or open to familiar with or open to adopting digital technologies, and this is normal. But providing training and support is necessary for the successful implementation of digital strategies. Even an understanding, because a lot of people are kind of scared of technology, but there is nothing to be scared, because we anyway will be there, and there will be, basically we will be divided of those who already know what to do with it and those who are on the back, just waiting for something when the world maybe stop using technology, but it's not. And we have to jump into that train, and we have to do as much as we can. So case studies, yeah. Let me see how many people do we have. We have few. I did ask you, maybe you know some great practices or something, maybe applications or anything that you maybe saw abroad and it's not existed in Ukraine, or anything that could be implemented in Ukraine, and you think, as a personal opinion, that that would be a great practice. I will be glad to hear that if you can share, any of you. Anything could relate it to tourism or not. You also can speak in Ukrainian if you need to. Please, I want to hear from each of you, possibly. No? Everyone's scared? Okay. All right. All right, then let's let me represent to you a few case studies. So case study number one, and it could be that there's few cases that already are actually existed, and they existed all over the world. Most of them are in America, but they not exist. Well, some familiar one existed in Ukraine. But also, I mean, there's just an ideas how we can, what we can do and how we can do it, and what already was done, right? So how we can maybe prove it better. So for example, ecotourism app, a case in an ecotourism app that provide information about sustainable travel options, right? That we talked previously. Sustainable options, for example, are you going to go on plane, or are you going to use a bicycle, and which company bicycle? Do they, I don't know, support nature? Do they grow one tree after each order from the client? So be eco-friendly, accommodations, and responsible tourism practices. This app not only helps tourists make conscious choices, but also supports businesses commit to green initiatives. So ecotourism mobile application connecting visitors to nature, basically. One example case came from collaboration between National Park and technology firm. So they developed a mobile application that acts as a guide for ecotourism activities. The app offers interactive maps, education content about local flora and fauna, and even real-time updates on a trail while you're walking. So this initiative not only enhances the visitor experience, but also promotes responsible behavior and awareness about the fragile ecosystems. As a result, tourism are more informed and engaged in preserving an environment. So this is a great example. The other example of case study, it's a smart destination management. So while we talk about the smart destination management, some destinations have embraced smart technologies to manage tourism flow, waste management, and energy consumption. For instance, Barcelona smart city initiatives have led to efficient source usage and reduce environmental impact. So waste management system, a permitted report in a popular tourist destination introduced a smart waste management system. So sensors basically were placed in a waste bins. So you imagine the waste bins. I don't know if I have a picture here or not. Okay, the bins where we put the trash. So sensors were placed in waste bins across the resort, enabling real-time monitoring waste level. And this data is then analyzed to optimize waste collection, roads, reducing fuel consumption, and minimizing the resort ecological footprint. So these initiatives not only contribute to sustainability, but also showcase the integration of technology to environmental benefits. And I know the same system where I believe I did some other practice here, but some other case in presentation, but not sure. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you. There's also same smart destination. So this is destination management. And if we talk about waste management, so they also put in the bins the same sensor, and to also to not come. So sometimes the bins are empty, and the people who serve them, they're coming anyway because they have a schedule. And if they see and they have that sensor, there is no necessary to come over if it's not full. So we actually keep the time, save the time, and save the fuel that we use to get there. And in this case, it's also great because they keep ecosystem clean. And if there's any waste already through the road or through the track, they come in there and they clean it. So they always up to date what is going on, even in a forest. Yeah, this is cool. So the other case is a virtual reality for cultural preservation. Well, this one is in open source. You can go just online and Google it. So in Peru, the Machu Picchu virtual reality projects allow tourists to experience the site cultural significance without causing physical damage. This innovation approach combines digital experience with heritage preservation. Well, we know that there is a lot of places where we want to visit, but we can't, so we can do it on a virtual reality, which is cool. Also, there is another side of this technology that could be used, and why, for cultural preservation, because some of the historical sites, not only Machu Picchu, but those in Egypt, they are just perishing. Yeah, with the many years, the pyramid getting smaller on a 50 centimeters, I think, every year. So what will be in next 20 years? There will be no pyramid. So basically, these part of virtual reality can preserve those historical sites. So so yeah, in a bid to raise awareness and finding for conservation effort, a wildlife sanctuary introduced virtual reality tours. Visitors wear a VR headsets to express guidance for true protected habitats, and witnessing the beauty of untouched nature. These initiatives not only generate reveal for conservation projects, but also minimize the physical impact on tourism and sensitive ecosystems. So Conclusion for future trends. So in conclusion, in this integration of digital transformation in green tourism holds immense potential for divine sustainable practices, enhancing tourism experiences, and promoting environmental conservation. The advantages of personalized experiences are global reach and efficient resources. Management can greatly contribute the growth of responsible tourism. So, however, it's important to address challenges such as a digital divide, privacy concern, and the need for training or adoption, striking the balance between harnessing the power of technology and ensuring ethical and equitable practice in essence. It also brings us to another case of study. It's a blockchain and transparency. I'm not I'm not very aware how does it work because it's not quite my field, but this is not it was necessary to bring it here because we'll look at the future several trends, and blockchain technology can provide transparency in the supply chain of eco-friendly products and services, ensuring tourism of authentically and sustainable practices. So, yeah, so let's just come here. So, augmented reality for education. Well, this one is also goes with a very high speed, and we know that also in Ukraine there is a lot of schools are using what is that? Only online systems, and they already have all the education made there. So. But also an adjustment reality. This is something like a 3D where you just see in the picture, but inside it will appear as a 3D model that you can touch from different sides. You can open that if there will be a car in the picture. You can open doors, see what's inside, and to analyze and work with the picture, basically. It can be used to educate tourism also about local ecosystems and biodiversity, enhancing their understanding and appearance of the environment. So, pardon. Okay, so yeah, collaboration platforms. So. This is also a platform that actually I am a creator of the platform. I'm a CEO, and we start working on OK Town 2 years ago, before the conflict in Ukraine actually started, and it was quite successful. However, after the conflict, we have to pause the work. And that time we're analyzing and see what trends we are going to follow and what technology we're going to implement to make collaboration much easier and friendlier to Ukrainians, because our company is actually focusing on Ukrainian business, and we're planning to help Ukrainian small and medium-sized businesses to actually create an infrastructure that will be competitive even to other countries, and then create a collaboration with those other platforms through our platform OK Town. So there is a type of platforms that call collaborative platforms. This is online platforms that connect traveler with the local communities, can facilitate authentic cultural experiences while also contributing to the economic development on the region. So Also, collaborative platforms have, because their technical part give them an opportunity to collaborate with other collaborative platforms. This is provide to the small, medium-sized business and also to the client more opportunities and also better service that we're going to work also on it. So let's come back. Oh yeah, and I didn't say so. OK Town is actually application like for like to connect local people, and the plans that we are managing right now, and hopefully we're going to launch our second version of OK Town quite soon. So we're working also to communicate, to collaborate with artificial intelligence, and everything what was mentioned in these lectures, actually little by little, but implement and then see and test it on Ukrainian region. Okay, analyzing of case studies and their impact. So analyzing case studies revealed a pattern of positive outcome resulting from the integration of digital technology and green tourism. And there is four of them. Enhancing visitors' engagement. So basically, digital initiatives such as mobile application or virtual reality tours provide visitor with immersive experience, leading to increasing engagement and understanding of environmental issues. Behavioral change. Smart waste management systems and educational app encourage responsible behavior among tourists. Fostering a culture of environmental consequences. Next one is data-driven decision-making. So this is one of the necessary one, the utilizing of data analytics in tourism operations as seen as a waste management optimization or facilities efficient resource allocation and resource waste. So, and also economic benefits. Initiatives that creatively leverage technology often attract eco-conscious tourists, so leading to increased visitation and revenue, which can then be reinvested in conservation efforts. So this is a great strategy to follow. So in a sense, these case studies underline the potential of digital transformation, not only the relevant visitors' experience, but also contribute to the overreaching goals of sustainable and environmental preservation in context of green tourism. And basically, that's it. I'm not going to provide you this video today, but since next lecture going to be about tools that we're going to use, that maybe you already use, or I'm going to tell how to use some tools. Maybe there is, how to say, побажання. I'm sorry, I forgot the word. Maybe some needs that you have. Якщо повторюсь українською, наступного разу я буду розповідати про digital tools, тобто інструменти, які ви можете використовувати, якщо ви в бізнесі, навіть не в бізнесі, просто це artificial intelligence і все, що можна використовувати для маркетингу. Можливо, в мене є питання, можливо, хтось вже використовував якісь інструменти з використанням AI, штучного інтелекту. І які саме? Якісь програми, applications. Хтось щось використовував?
Так.
А що саме?
і ChatGPT, Bing, Том, по-моєму, или Том для презентацій.
Угу.
Ну, і ще перефразовувачі теж на AI, ну, наче все.
Так, а ChatGPT третю версію 3.5?
3.5 то зараз, а третя, вона була вже в тому році ж, так?
Так.
Значить і третю.
Угу. Скажіть, ще хтось може використовує для, не знаю, для постів, для відео, для аудіо, для ще якихось для читання, для аналітики? Ні? Більше ніхто. Для бізнесу, можливо, хтось, для маркетингу, для створення стратегій, для SMM-менеджменту, для копірайтингу, для написання, не знаю, або читання статей, аудіо. Ні, немає. Добре. Very good. I'm very glad to hear that. Я тоді спробую якнайбільше знайти, ну, я вже знаю, які презентувати, оскільки мало відповіді було. Але на цьому тоді все. Thank you so much to having you. I'm very glad having you on my presentation. I'll see you next lecture and have a wonderful day, evening. Thank you for your attention.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.